Hi guys, today I just replaced the starter on my Toyota pickup truck. It's a 1985. It's a 22R engine, and didn't have a camera to demonstrate how I took it off or replaced it. So I'm going to do a video here and kind of guide you through how I did this. First thing I did was take the cable of my negative side of my battery off. I took it off the post here. Once that's removed, moved it out of the way, make sure it didn't touch, and then what I did was now there's two lead wires that go to the, here's the solenoid here, and the starter is this is built onto the starter. It's one piece. There's two lead wires that go to the starter, and they're underneath. You'll have to get to those, or I had to get to them underneath the vehicle. There's two mounting bolts, one on the top up here, and then there's one right underneath here that I had to get to underneath the vehicle. What I did to remove the starter and solenoid, I took out that mounting bolt here first on the top here, completely remove that. And to remove that bolt, I used a 14mm socket to take the bolt off. I took the bolt, once I got it off, I took the bolt completely out. And then I had to go underneath the vehicle to remove the two lead wires and the other mounting nut, actually, because the mounting bolt is built onto the truck underneath the starter. And I'll just show you what I did underneath the vehicle. Before I got underneath the vehicle, I had to jack it up, and I used jack stands to support the truck. Okay, you can see the starter from underneath the vehicle, and here's the two lead wires here. There's a rubber boot that goes over this nut here. I took the nut off using a 15mm wrench, and then right next to it is a clip wire right here. I just used a screwdriver and popped the clip and removed this wire from the starter. And then after those two wires are removed, I was able to get to the mounting bolt here, and it is right here. I used my same socket to get this nut off. This is not a bolt that you take out, it's just a nut that you remove from this from the bolt that's already mounted to the engine. So take and one thing that I had a little difficulty with is there's an assembly here that is part of the hydraulic clutch line. This assembly here was actually mounted onto the bolt. So when I took the nut off, I thought the starter would just drop right out, but this assembly here had to be removed first, and then I pulled this out of the way, and I was able to drop the starter through the bottom here, and that was kind of hard to do. This starter is heavy. It's probably about 7, maybe 8 pounds. So I really wanted to make sure that my head wasn't in the way, and I just had to really kind of finagle this thing through to drop it out, because you can't, from what I could tell, you can't take it through the top. It's a lot easier to the bottom. You just got to make sure that it doesn't fall on your head, because it definitely could hurt you. But when I put the starter back on, I just didn't even bother putting this assembly on. It's just stable, and I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. So really, that's That's all there was. There was, like I said, there was 2 bolts. I took the bolt off from the top first, so that I wouldn't have to keep going back, getting out from underneath the truck and going back up. I just took it out first and took these 2 wires off. This one is a nut and this one is a clip wire, and then took the mounting nut off here. And here's a look at the starter that I took off. You can see that where the 2 lead wires were at. Connector here, the nut I took off here. This is where the solenoid connects to the starter. It had a nut on it. I took that off after the fact. Used the nut for something else. It had a wire right. This has a wire here. I have no idea what this is. I did not take this, unclip this from anything when I took this off. When I replaced the new starter, it did not have this, so I'm not concerned about that. This starter at the big name parts store was going to cost $52. It's a remanufactured starter, was going to be $52. Fortunately, I live near a junkyard, and they had a 1987 starter, which is the one that I put on, and they sold that to me for $20. Actually, like $27 because I did not have the core here. So if I return this, they'll give me $5 back, and they charged me like $1 for using a credit card. So pretty happy. This is kind of a difficult thing for me to do here. With this starter, it was awkward to get to. Actually, I don't like working underneath the vehicle, so I had to do that. Also, being as heavy as it was kind of hard to get it to drop underneath and to remove. But all worked out, and happy with it. So until next time, have a great day. Take care. Okay, let's try it out here.